click the link below or go straight to mr.locario.com to get the documentary Game Kings, The Definition of Game. Yo, what's poppin'? What's going on? It's your boy, Mr. Locario, the bad boy of the dating game. What's good? So listen, I want to tell you guys that men can be hoes too. They can be hoes too. You're like, Mr. Locario, what the fuck are you talking about? See, what I've found online, I've seen this, sort of like talking point or debate, back and forth over the years where guys will say, these women are hoes, they're sluts, they're out here fucking a bunch of dudes and they can't pair bond and they got, high body counts and yada, yada, yada. And then so women will be like, oh, well, men can be hoes too, right? And then men are like, no, we can't be hoes because, we gotta, go out there and make shit happen and we can't have sex just like that and we gotta work for it and whatever, right? And they'll say stuff like, oh, well, it's different for guys because, we're doing this and y'all are doing that and whatever the case may be. Right. But I'm here to tell you that men can be hoes too. Right now, the reason why most men aren't, and when I say hoe, we're talking just like, slang, because, a real hoe is a person selling a body for money and shit like that. But when we're talking about hoes, we're just talking about, people who are having sex a lot right now. See, the reason why most men aren't quote unquote hoes is because either they're not sexually appealing enough to be able to experience that, or they don't have the game to be sexually experienced enough, sexually appealing enough to experience that type of shit. But if they are, right, then usually they'll do some hoe shit also. But see, a lot of guys aren't at that level. A lot of guys aren't able to do that. So I understand where guys will say, oh, well, it's easy for the women to get the sex. But guess what? For some guys, it's easy for them to get the sex, right? And that's because they're sexually appealing and they got game. And so what happens is that guys who don't have game, right, they looking at it like, oh, well, these women out here, they're doing all of this stuff. And really, it's coming from a place of envy. It's really coming from a place of envy, because what most guys are thinking is they're like, man, I wish that I could have access to sex as easily as women have access to sex, right? Because us guys, we're like, oh, we want to fuck and we're just following through just on hooking up with a girl. Whereas the woman, right, a lot of times she, even though when she wants to have sex, there's sometimes where she got to be feeling in the mood and, certain things can happen to make her change her mind. And this is what makes it more difficult for guys to get it as easily as women get it, right? I understand that. But that does not, take away from understanding that men can be hoes too if they're sexually appealing and, they have game, right? And see, what happens is that a lot of dudes they're not experienced in this type of lifestyle as far as being the type of guy who gets a lot of women. So they don't understand that, right? And they don't understand how it could be to get shit popping, because guess what? A lot of guys will get on women for having a bunch of sex and all this other stuff. But guess what? If you're the type of guy who had access to women who wanted to have sex with you, you'd also be having a bunch of sex. If you could, you would, but you can't. So you rant. You understand? See, if you could also get as much sex as these women, you'll be making it happen. Most of you guys. You understand? Now, there's always exceptions to the rule. There's certain women, who can, they'll just not also do it too. They're going to be like, oh, I'm just going to be chilling and not really be out here jumping on dick to dick. But most of these women are out here jumping on dick to dick. Why? Because they can. You understand? If you could, you would. You understand? On the opposite end of the spectrum, meaning if you could get as much pussy as you wanted, you would do it too. See, as a guy who has, been out here in these streets, yes, Mr. Locario belongs to the streets. You understand? I've been out here getting it in. You understand? And what happens is that because I had access, you understand, or have access to, a lot of different women and women trying to fuck with me, I'm like, cool, let's make it happen. I've indulged. You understand? I was on that whole shit. You understand? I've actually slowed down now, but I was on that whole shit. Why? Because I could. So I did. If you could, you would. If you can't, you rant. You understand? And so I've been in these situations where, I'm fucking with all these girls. And what happens is when you're the type of guy who is able to get a lot of women and you have access to all these chicks, especially when you were in a situation where you didn't have access to these women before, meaning your game wasn't on point, or you probably wasn't the guy who a lot of women found sexually appealing, right? When you start to be able to become that guy whose game is on point, who you become more attractive and more women are gravitating to you, you're most likely going to indulge, right? And then what's going to happen is you're going to realize you have so many chicks, so much fucking access to women that you don't have time for it all. You don't have the energy for it all. Like, no bullshit. There's times where there was chicks that I was fucking with where I had to pass these girls off to dudes I knew. You understand? These just random chicks I was hooking up with. I had to pass them off to dudes I knew because I didn't have time or energy to fuck them. You understand what I'm saying? I didn't. You understand? There were times where there were certain women I wanted to have sex with. I had to turn them down. Why? Because I didn't have the energy. Sometimes I didn't have the time. You understand? There were times I had to stack dates. You understand what I'm saying? There's times where, why do you think, look at this fucking book, How to Have Sex with 2 Women a Day. Where you think the knowledge of this shit come from? You understand what I'm saying? So I've been there, done that. So what I'm telling you is that men can be hoes too. But most guys aren't going to be that way because they can't. It's not that they don't want to. It's not that they find it immoral. It's because they can't. And so the whole argument about women and pair bonding and body counts and, they're not going to be able to, bond with dudes and they're crazy if they're hopping from dick to dick and, the red pill are like they're on the cock carousel and all that other shit. That's not really the argument here. The argument here is niggas is envious that they not getting access to sex how women are getting access to sex. And they wish they could. Because if you could, you would. You understand? That's the real issue here. See, guys come up with these fucking they go to their what's that analogy with the fucking lock and the key? A key that can unlock many locks is a master key. But a lock that can be opened with any key is a faulty lock. Fuck out of here with that bullshit, nigga. What the fuck? Listen, let me tell you guys something. I've talked about this before. Let's break this down again. Let's say you meet a girl and she's 27 years old. Let's say she had sex with, 37 niggas, right? Now, do you know, or do you realize the amount of men who wanted to get in that pussy? You understand? So she had sex with 37 dudes. Now let's say 37,000 niggas was trying to holler at her. And that's probably a low number. It's probably way more than that. But let's just go with 37,000 motherfuckers tried to get in that pussy. You feel what I'm saying? So that means that there's only a small percentage of dudes she fucked out of all of the motherfuckers she could have been fucking. You understand? So what makes y'all think every key is getting in that pussy? It's not. You understand? It's not. You see what I mean? See, the you wanting to acquire a lot of pussy comes from you, in a lot of cases, not having it. When you have it, you're not gonna be so thirsty to acquire it. In your mind, you're like, I'd be fucking every day, every 5 minutes, because I'm telling you, that's the type of shit that'll happen at first. And you go through that stage of, I'm trying to fuck everything. Man, I can get all these girls, I'm trying to do all this shit, right? Because you're in a situation where it hasn't really happened before and it's new to you, and you're like, oh, this is great. But then after a while, you're like, okay, you understand? Because it's like you're full. You're like, yeah, it's cool, but you know, I'm full. I already ate. You feel what I'm saying? I already ate. I'm good. But when you're starving, you want to eat the whole buffet. You're like, shit, I'm trying to get to the whole buffet. You understand? Because see, women like sex just as much as us men, right? But again, they have easy access because us men is just trying to get it in like, you know, easily. And we're just straight to the pussy. We're like, fuck it. I don't care if I like her. I don't care if she was on bullshit. I'm gonna still fuck this chick. Right? Women are a little different. Women have to sort of feel the situation in order for the situation to follow through and continue. You understand? And so what happens is that you have a lot of guys out here again who it's not about them, you know, saying or worried about, oh, well, these girls out here fucking in all day and I can't find a woman to pair bond and marry me so we can have kids and have a, you know, a great life. And no, it ain't about that. It's about that low-key envy that you're not able to access sex as quickly. That's all it is. Because again, if you could, you would. Since you can't, you rant. You understand what I'm saying? Nigga, I'm telling y'all, if listen. All the guys out there that can really get it in, who don't have issues getting with women, who's watching this video, I'm telling you, they're nodding their head right now at everything I'm fucking saying. They're like, bro, I relate. They're like, I relate. I understand, Mr. Locario. I totally relate to what the fuck you're saying. Right? But guys who don't have this experience, right? They're saying things like, oh, men can't be hoes. Bullshit. Bullshit. The man who has access to a bunch of different women can choose to be a hoe. This nigga could fucking, you know, have sex with a different chick every night if he wanted to. You understand? Every night. Every fucking night. Right? So look, that's that. I don't want to make this too long, man, but I just want you guys to understand that perspective is that when you're the type of guy who has game, right? You become more attractive, or you're just naturally sexually appealing to a large number of women. You're going to get shit coming your way. Chicks is going to try to holler. They going to, you know, make it happen. They're going to make it easy. And you're going to have access. And because you could, you would. You understand? You're going to make it happen. Right? And that's the reason why a lot of these women do what they do, because they could. So they would. They're making it happen. The same way you would. But see, a lot of guys, because they're envious and because they're insecure, they want to make it seem as if there's something wrong or she got like issues because she likes to fuck. You understand? And they come up with all these analogies and all these theories about pair bonding and fucking DNA retaining in their brains and all that other bullshit that is not scientifically backed by anything. It's not facts. You guys can look at this up. There's no facts on this shit. It's just a bunch of, you know, nonsense the red pill made up to cope with the fact that women are out here fucking and sucking and they're not getting their piece of the situation. Because think about it this, and I'll say this before I go. Why is it so hard for you guys to get it popping if these chicks are such whores and sluts? Right? You know, I hear guys say, oh, I'm not gonna wife up a girl like that, but I'll hit it. Okay, well then hit it then. Why are you having a hard time hitting it? Why y'all niggas gotta go overseas and shit, right? All these girls are hoes and sluts and they just be throwing the pussy around. How come you can't get this chick who's a hoe and a slut to fuck you? That's weird. That's strange. You understand? If somebody was outside passing out free water, right? And you're like, oh man, I'm thirsty. Well, nigga, they passing out free water. Well, I went over there and I couldn't get no water. How come? Right?
What's going on? It's your boy Miles Cunningham, and what I want to talk about today is the Bad Boy Membership Contest. All you have to do to be eligible to win the Bad Boy Membership Contest is to be a Bad Boy member. See, what we realize is that when guys join the Bad Boy membership, they make the transition from simp to player very quickly, and we're just trying to make that transition just a little bit easier. So here's what you get if you win the Bad Boy Membership Contest. So here's what you receive if you win the Bad Boy Membership Contest. A bottle of Bad Boy Cologne by Carolina Herrera, New York. A luxury designer timepiece. And a $100 gift card. To increase your chances of winning, share this post in your story, tag 3 friends, and subscribe to Mr. Locario or the Miles Cunningham YouTube channel. The link is in the bio. And follow Real Mr. Locario and Miles in the Game on Instagram. The winner will be announced at the first of the month. Good luck.
Click the link below and get your bad boy gear. Get the t-shirts, Submissive Women Are Sexy, Binary as Fuck, and I'm God to These Hoes. Click the link below to get your bad boy gear today. Now, before you go, click the link below and go to badboymembership.com. Now, badboymembership.com is a place where you go to get 45 through 90-minute audio and video dating advice tutorials every month. Listen, I know you're tired of being rejected. Go to badboymembership.com. I know you're tired of being afraid to approach women. Go to badboymembership.com. I know you're tired of not getting the women that you want. Go to badboymembership.com. Listen, I know you're tired of being alone on a Friday night. Go to badboymembership.com. Now picture this. You'll go from not getting what you want when it comes to you dealing with women to actually getting what you want, to being the guy women want to be with, women want to date, women want to have sex with. All you need to do is go to badboymembership.com, follow the steps, learn the game, implement the game, and then you will get the woman you want. Make sure you go to badboymembership.com today. Click the link below.